Hey everyone, welcome back to 321 Michigan. Today I have Mr. Keith Glendon joining me, and we're going to talk about LucidCoast. Thanks for joining me today, Keith.
Hey, thanks for having me on this show. It's exciting to see a show like this landing here on our shores in Marquette. So thanks for bringing it to us.
Yeah, of course. We're slowly, incrementally bringing technology into the UP, right?
Yeah.
Every little bit that we can to spread the message about what we're doing here. So, can you tell me a little bit about LucidCoast, kind of the company itself, and then your part in how you play a role in that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the founder of LucidCoast, and I founded the company in 2020. And the founding of the company was really a continuation of my mission personally, which really boils down to youth and the new economy and the democratization of opportunity that can come with those two things. And so what we do at LucidCoast primarily day to day is we provide IT services, and the customer base that we focus on with those IT services really is going to be utilities, municipal government, and K-12. Why is that? Well, I said that we started with a mission of the youth, right? So serving K-12 is about helping bring valued services to the K-12 environment that is in desperate need really of support at an affordable level for things like cybersecurity, network management, IT optimization. So we want to serve them as a business, but more importantly, we also want to engage with them as a partner to help serve their ultimate mission of enabling kids. Right now in the state of Michigan and in many states around the country, requirements are changing and they're leaning more and more towards needing hands-on skills and experiential learning and social emotional learning and soft skills and entrepreneurship and innovation and internships are all kind of part of it. Digital credentialing and teachers and districts and RESAs are all sort of struggling with how do we incorporate these new requirements with all the other requirements that we have, and how do we get the expertise to deliver on those requirements? And I believe one of the best ways we can answer those questions is through partnerships between K-12s and private industry, and creation of internships and creation of programs, for example, in the cybersecurity realm, where, hey, if you have a cybersecurity need as a school district and you have a local partner who can meet that need, why not also combine those with an opportunity for your students to learn, get credentialed, get mentored, and provide a low-cost service potentially back to the district. And so it becomes a closed loop way of public-private partnership that benefits the school, the learner, the local business, and the community, and by extension, the world and the nation. So that's one example of how we go to market. We're focusing on providing services that we bring expertise in, but also having a community impact and also, having hopefully an education impact. So that's an example. We really focus in IT service management. So that can be the broad practices of managing IT infrastructure, enterprise asset management, which is about how organizations, typically larger enterprises, how they meet their requirements around maintenance and management of assets and infrastructure in very large organizations. So the processes, the disciplines, and the technologies that go into that is a major part of our business. And then cybersecurity. And when we talk cybersecurity, we want our niche really to be, again, focused on helping those industries and customer bases that are challenged from a financial standpoint, from a resource standpoint, to be able to afford, the top end or the enterprise caliber stuff, but they still have, enterprise requirements. They handle very important information. They have people's, large budgets. I mean, municipal governments and school districts are often the biggest employers in a region. And so they have large budgets and lots of people's lives depend on them, but they don't often have the resources to be as secure as they need to be. So those are the industries we want to serve. And, we've had our ups and downs and certainly lots of pivots trying to get through the last couple of years. But in the process have managed to really kind of start honing our overall business model thesis and how we're going to serve these different groups in very specific ways. So things are going pretty well in year 2. And in fact, we've just got this week, one of our current employees, apprentices, is transitioning from Marquette back down to the Southeast Michigan, and will be continuing on with us as a full-time employee. So that's exciting because even though it's one person, it's one step into the Southeast Michigan market where we can add the value in another part of Michigan that we hope to bring across the whole state.
And it's a great opportunity to see how like working virtually in a different area will work for you guys too, you know?
Yep.
It's a nice transition and a new adventure to try out.
That's right.
Awesome. So what do you hope the rest of the year brings? Do you have any thoughts to what you guys are going to be working on or focusing on? Obviously, that is a big one of trying to reach clients. But anything in particular that you're excited about coming up?
Well, I mean, when it comes to hoping, I'm hoping on behalf of many of our customers that we have relatively stable weather. As we serve communities, school districts, utilities, and we see things like the weather that we've already had this year in Michigan, there's some real challenges in those industries. When it comes to, the power infrastructure is being stressed and strained by this weather. Social infrastructure is being stressed and strained as we see heat waves that are going to impact families. And summertime, with the schools being out, there are a lot of situations where families are not supported by a part of their lives that's there during the school year. And so it becomes really challenging when big weather events and social events happen. So I hope on behalf of our communities and our customers that we have stable weather for the summer.
I think we'd all like a break.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and just a general break would be nice, right? But from volatility. But knowing the world is what it is, I guess what I'm looking forward to in the second half of the year, as an entrepreneur in year 2.5, we've survived. In fact, we've thrived in a lot of ways because we've made it through some of the most difficult times I could imagine, and been stable and growing. So I'm grateful for that. But I'm also painfully aware of how painful it was to get through those couple of years. And we're at that point of business where it's about maturity for sustainability. And so early stage of a business, you're charging hard, you're trying a lot of things, you're going a lot of directions to discover what works and what doesn't.
Yep.
Then at some point you start to have to move into okay, now that I see what's working, how do I really perfect that?
Yep.
And what is the balance between perfecting that and not continuing forward to grow and expand? And so we're in the space where the second half of 2022 is about, finding that balance and preparing for 2023 to be less volatile than the year before. And, I'm excited about some really mundane things like processes, right? Like how do we make sure that, my email invites go to the right calendar so that I don't, make a mistake in showing up for a podcast that I'm supposed to be on.
Right.
Things like that, and on up to, operational processes. Like we've learned a lot of things that we bring value with, and now doing those things more repeatably.
Yeah.
And in a more consistent way with definable metrics and outcomes so that we can measure our business and mature. That I'm looking forward to that stuff. And of course, hopefully a few more customers and a few more wins wouldn't be.
Well, and that's good for growth too, right?
Yeah.
Just finding that stability. It's not complete stability because it's entrepreneurship, but just kind of feeling like you're getting some traction at least, and understanding, the path a little easier, allows you to start, making the changes needed to maybe grow your team, or just kind of take a breath. Maybe that's just, having a little breather period to now see like the above view of the company, and how things are going, and make sure things are properly aligned for your next sprint. So I think that's amazing. That I'm excited for you too. So, and in retrospect, we didn't get into it too much, but I'd like to mention too that this isn't the only business that you've built. So you definitely have a little bit of that entrepreneurial heart, and I'm super excited to see that you have taken LucidCoast to this point already. I mean, I'm also I don't get to see the day to day all the time, so
Right,
I'm
right.
happy to see the growth.
Well, as a former Lucid coaster yourself, and
Right.
as somebody who, like, when you say I didn't build the company. I came up with an idea. We've been co-creating it, and even
Together.
being here together now that you're on your own venture is
Right.
a part of it. It's a part of the success that we're trying to bring into the world together, and in what I see as a kind of a model of collective value creation.
Yep.
That we see popping up all over the place with the digital economy. People that, like yourself, recognize that, hey, there's skills I can develop that can enable me to leverage the digital marketplace and to bring value to the world and to have flexibility for myself. And oh, by the way, when I'm doing that, there's a lot of other people trying to do the same thing. And if we do it together,
we can help.
a lot easier, right?
Yeah, it is. I definitely need the community there, because it's really hard to do it by yourself. And as a front runner, I'm sure that you know that.
Well, and ultimately, that's what, when we talk about the business and why I never actually intended, not that I didn't want to, I never intended to start the business that I started, but this thing that is happening between you and I and you and others and me and others. And that all, that's the thing that we were trying to build together. And that required starting a business. And it also required, a co-working space and activities. And so we're doing it. The thing is happening.
It is.
Well done.
You too
are also on path and appreciate it. So
yeah, awesome. Well, I don't want to take up all. It's not about me today. It's not about me. It's all about you. So we can wrap up. And if you don't have anything else, unless you have any other info you'd like to share with your people.
No, I mean, I appreciate having the opportunity to talk a little bit in a condensed form. We've done some long form things, and I love that you're giving people, other businesses, the opportunity to get a message out. And I would say, I suppose, I'm not sure I know your audience that well yet, but assuming your audience is entrepreneurial, is oriented towards community impact, is oriented towards how do we enable this sort of thing. And I would simply encourage you to engage with other founders and other entrepreneurs and engage in the community in whatever way calls you, and whatever way seems to serve not only your calling, but those adjacent to you, and just start experimenting with the win-win-win mentality. Because in the world today, we're being, in many ways, being kind of led into the opposite of that. We're being led into camps. We're being led into tribes. We're being led into this belief that it's a zero-sum game, and it's not. It's not a zero-sum game, and it's that kind of thinking that takes us as communities, as individuals, and as the world down a very challenging and difficult path. So
it does.
I would just say, hey, let's all make the world a better place together. And I appreciate you having me on.
100%. Thanks, Keith. I appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm super excited for the rest of the year for you. So thanks for your time today. I know it's super valuable, so I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for more talks with different business owners, organizations. If you know anyone that you think would also love to be on, please have them reach out to Ashley at Campfire Coworks or through 321 Michigan. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you, everyone. Take care.